This show is about two people giving their opinions. They are not experts on the matter. They are just people who want to have a chat. If you have any questions about morality or any other issues, please talk to a priest. Yes or no? One of us would be a better president than Donald J. Trump.
I'm going to say yes. And the reason I'm going to say yes is, so let's look back. We have 4 years of history on Trump, right? And so he's done a lot of good things as president and, some bad ones. But the good ones are, the nominating good justices to the Supreme Court. That he did based on a list from the Federalist Society, right? That's something you or I could do just as well. He lowered taxes and cut regulations, also good. But it wasn't like he knew all the tax code and all the regulations and went through the 2 million pages of stuff and said, oh, let's remove this one, let's remove this one, let's remove this one, right? He relied on experts, conservative experts in that field, and basically did what they recommended. I guess the third big thing he did was no new wars. Now, was that because he was lucky or because he was unhinged? Right? I think I'm going to give Trump the edge in that one. So, we're ahead 2-1 against Trump. The big one for me is the $5 trillion increase in debt in 4 years. I don't think that's something you or I would do. So you basically add all those things up and then also add sort of the spin that, we would do everything through our Catholic perspective, which he obviously doesn't have. I think both of us would be a better president than Trump.
And I think it's kind of a tough thing. So I think the first question would it be possible for one of us to be elected? And that's obviously no. So that kind of goes without saying that, you do have to be kind of either already in the limelight or you have to be a sociopath, as we've discussed in previous podcasts. You really have to be kind of crazy.
Well, we might both have that.
We might. Okay, fair enough. So maybe we could succeed. No, but I think that being aside, so let's say that literally just the question, could we be better? And I think that it's a good question. It's a hard question because I think you're right in a lot of ways. I think, again, I agree with you. He did a lot of good things. He did a lot of bad things, a lot of really dumb things. I mean, Bolton as one of your, advisors, it's just, really dumb. So some things were really remarkably stupid. And you saw that he had someone in his ear or multiple people in his ear saying, hey, hire this guy. And he did a lot of really dumb things. And I think that he really had it in his mind that he was going to win re-election. So he just kind of, I'm just going to kind of softball it through this one and then really go hard, in the second term or in second, 4 years. And obviously that didn't happen. Anyway, the question being, okay, first of all, we do have better morality. We have better faith. We have better people around us. That's absolutely sure. I have no training in civics. I don't know if Trump does either, but Trump has, he has, first of all, he's 80, or what, 79.
79.
So he has a lot of experience in the world. He has a lot of business experience, and he has name recognition, and he has the respect of people around the world, which is actually true. So we're saying right now, we're not saying Trump even 8 years ago, because I think that would have even been actually a better question, because I think then I probably would have said, no, absolutely not. We would be better. But now he actually has name recognition, and he actually has sat down with the leaders around the world and has actually gone toe to toe with them. I think some of the best stories I've seen coming out are him just being this total boss, with people around the world. And he's kind of a lunatic. He's a total loose cannon. And I think that's actually maybe his biggest strength as president, is that he's just like, hey, yeah, mess with us. Go ahead. Yeah. I dare you. Do it. Do it. Come on, do it. And I think that you and I, in all honesty, I can tell you I'm as small government as it comes. I'm going back to the feudal system. I'm not just going back to the states as, having, true power. I'm trying to go back to like cities and, and municipalities having, actual power over their people. And, that being the case, would I actually be a better president? Okay, maybe. But then again, it's kind of a nuanced question, because again, it's tough to say, okay, could I actually make that happen? And I would say, Absolutely not. Not realistically. I mean, so if we're saying, hypothetically, would my form of government, our form of government, I think you and I think pretty similarly about this.
Yeah, small
Would our
government.
form of
I think
government be better?
I'm a little more, I don't know, founding fathers ish than I think you are.
Yeah.
You're more medieval.
I'm more medieval. Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
more send us back to the Catholic socialism type days, and almost feudalism. And because I think that's where you actually saw, almost not equality at all, but actual happiness among the different levels of people. You did actually have almost a caste system, but not always in a bad way, sometimes in a bad way. But anyway, the question being, okay, could we actually enforce it? No, it's never going to get through the American politics. And so I guess, in that case, do you think, assuming we can't get anything done, we can't actually have the presidency that we would actually want, do you still think that you and I could be a better president than Trump?
I do, because I tend again, so my favorite president outside of George Washington is Calvin Coolidge. I don't know if you know much about him, but yeah, his nickname was Silent Cal. He basically did nothing. He said, yeah, the president shouldn't have any power. I'll just keep an eye on the foreign countries and then let the country run itself and not grow government, not do any of that. And it's like, I like to think, I don't know what would happen, but I like to think that's how you and I would be. And so I think we be just based on that attempt alone, you or I would probably get the country in a better spot, or at least keep the country from degrading further than any president has done since Coolidge, or maybe Reagan, that type of thing.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. And I think actually Reagan, the more I learn about Reagan, the more I think he's kind of pumped up by conservatives as this absolute hero. But when you actually look at what he did, I'm not totally convinced about Reagan. That's a whole nother topic, but you start looking into Nixon compared to Reagan, actually really interesting. Nixon is always a scapegoat. He's always one of the worst presidents of all time. When you actually look at Nixon, okay, he was involved with Vietnam, but it was dumped on him. Well, I mean, he became president as Vietnam was going on. So what was he supposed to do? And I think that if you actually look at his policies and what he was trying to do, trying to get rid of the secret societies and stuff, which I actually think he was trying, like JFK, and they got rid of him. They found a way where they didn't kill him, obviously, but they just blackmailed him to it and said, look, dude, you're done. We got you. Now leave.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, because I think he determined that it was the best for the country, that he was out of it. Anyway, I'm going off topic here. But sorry, guys. Everyone's like, what are you talking about, Nixon? But it is interesting to think again. Okay, why is a president the best president? Okay, Reagan, he was an ultra conservative. Okay, he talked a really good conservative game, but what did he actually do? And when you actually look at the things Reagan did, yeah, okay, he tore down the wall, okay, he did some good things. And I'm not saying I hate Reagan, but I think he's actually he's kind of overvalued in a lot of ways in conservative circles.
I mean, I think a lot of the things he did were awesome, right? Tearing down the wall, lowering taxes, cutting regulations. It was basically without the debt, he was Trump, right? And I think from a historical perspective, that was one of the better presidencies, certainly in the last 100 years.
Yeah,
and I think the reason conservatives
there's not much to compare it with.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason conservatives pump him up is he doesn't have the scandals that Trump and Nixon do, sort of around him.
True.
And then, the Bushes are conservative-ish. You know what I mean?
They're not neo-conservative.
Yeah.
War hawks. Hey, let's go.
So you look back as a conservative, what's my ideal in the last 50 years? It's like, well, Nixon, he kind of left in shame. Trump is Trump. Bushes are the Bushes. It's like, well, I guess we got Reagan. Let's say he's great. I see where that comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big fan of JFK, but he was also, personally, morally bad. He was not a moral person. He was a Catholic, should have been moral, and wasn't. But I actually, what I really love about JFK is that I really believe he loved America. I think he was a true patriot who loved America and actually really truly wanted the best for America and didn't make all the best decisions. And I'm not saying he did, and he was immoral, but I think he may have been the last true one. Maybe Reagan, but I think that JFK was the one who really, really loved America and really wanted the best, wanted to get rid of the CIA, wanted to get rid of even the Fed, and he was killed for it. And I think that that's honestly, since him, everyone was afraid of it, afraid of truly going as far as he did. And so, Reagan was the closest, and he got shot too. And so they say, okay, yeah, it was some crazy person because he was in love with a movie star. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. He was trying
it's an interesting point, right? Post JFK, the two presidents to be shot, Reagan and Trump.
Yeah.
I would argue both love America and are both trying to do the right things. So,
Thank you.
if you or I did become president, we'd probably die.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, and I think it's a really good point. But again, we're going off topic. It's interesting. I think presidencies it's a really interesting topic. So you and I can just kind of riff. But I do think back to the question, could we be better? I still do think it's a nuanced question, but I think because Trump has so much in place, I don't know if respect is the word, but kind of this fear. They kind of fear him for doing something. They don't know what he's going to do. He just kind of says things, and he's like, "Hey, you have a red button. I have a bigger one." Didn't he say that to North Korea?
North Korea guy.
And it's like, that's awesome. I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds kind of crude, and it kind of is, or kind of like this, like I'm kind of a big bully, but. Man, bring it on.
That's as American as it gets.
Bring it. I mean, just give me someone who's not a soy boy, and just, because exactly as you said, you need a president who's not going to mess around. He's not going to spend money. He's not going to send money to Pakistan for gender studies. He's going to say, hey, look, you guys figure it out. And honestly, it's probably good if everyone split. You have a lame duck presidency. So no one passes anything. You don't spend anything in 4 years. And the president just goes and says all around the world, look, I'm going to fix our country, and I'm not going to do anything else. Don't question. If we have world war, okay, bring me to the table. That's it. I mean, if someone really invades you, I think Israel is an interesting question. I think that's maybe another topic we'll cover. If I actually get invaded and people are murdered, okay, come to me, bring me to the table, and we'll discuss it. But other than that, hey, I just don't. I mean, Russia invading Ukraine. Ukraine's not even part of NATO. Why on earth are we sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? It's like actually insane. I don't think people think about this enough. Again, we are sending billions, tens of billions of dollars.
I think it's close to a country now, isn't it?
Oh, it's something like that. Maybe hundreds of billions, honestly. And we're sending it to and most of it gets funneled back into Biden's pocketbook, or to the politician's pocketbook, which has been relatively proven. But I don't think we consider that enough, that we're just sending it to a country that is not even an ally, not even just not an ally. They're not even part of anything at all. And here's the $100 billion. Here you go, guys.
Yeah.
For your war, please take it.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, so going back to the original question, I'll grant you on the foreign policy, I think Trump has the edge on us, but on, Supreme Court, taxes, size of government, certainly debt, I think you and I are even, if not better. So I think that's why I'm gonna stick with yes. I think we'd be better president. Yeah,
that's a fair point. And if someone came to me and said, "Hey, who are you going to nominate for Supreme Court?" I'd go to Clarence Thomas and say, "Whisper in my ear, buddy. You tell me who you want on this court, and I will elect them yesterday."
I would do that. I would go to the Federalist Society like Trump did, see their list and sort by who's the most conservative, and find a Catholic. Which
it's really interesting, that Trump's getting killed for this Agenda 2025, and he actually doesn't have anything to do with it because it's actually far more conservative than he is. And it's like, it's so
he's running away from it because it's too conservative.
It's exact. And from what I've heard from it, it's like, dude, this is awesome. Bring it on.
Yeah,
exactly. We got to do a podcast on Agenda 2025 because I think it's again, I don't know the whole thing, so I don't know it's all.
I would need to read up on it before.
Exactly. But from what I've seen, it rocks, and bring it on. I certainly hope Trump does that. Someone had a great point. I hope they said something like, I hope that Trump is the nightmare the leftists think that he will be, rather than what he actually is. And it's like, I think that's pretty fair. I hope that he is the nightmare that the leftists think he'll be, because he probably won't be. At this point, I think he's going to be elected, and I think he's going to be meh. Certainly better than Kamala Harris, but meh. And I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take meh. Meh is great.
I'll take meh. And I do think he would be a better president than you and me, mostly because of his, standing around the world. And he's pretty funny. I don't know if I could stand on a stage and be as funny. I mean, he's a stand-up comedian. He is. Yeah. He's got a sense for it. And I don't know if we could do that. Anyway, I will say that Trump would be a better president, and you would say
agree to disagree.
All right. Well, I guess next time perhaps we'll be on the same side. Thanks for watching. Yes and no. Please like, share. share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. What do you guys think? Do you think you would be a better president than Donald J. Trump? Do you think Eric or I would be a better president? Let us know.
Officially running
Thanks, guys.
for president of the United States.
King Trump. Now when he started running, no one thought we'd see people stand in line to see the Orange King. King Trump. How'd we get so lucky? Donald Trump. He's gonna save our country. Born with silver spoon, he could buy the moon. King Trump.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
Now when he wins and China has to see him, he'll get back all our money and build a Coliseum. Name's Trump. Hillary's a donkey. Donald Trump. He's my favorite honky. Built the Taj Mahal.